안녕하세요, producer T.S.M and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing things all about friends and all about Korean people. So I would like to start with this book because my Vietnamese friend who went to South Korea in 2018 for CIE for study abroad brought me home this present, this Korean book. And it's a history book, so it does have historical language in it. So yeah, it'll take some more time to understand than maybe a regular children's book for sure. But that's okay because it has poems and stories in it. And it's because she's my friend and she brought me home this present and brought me home something in history because she knows I major in history that I figured this would be a great would make for a great thumbnail for my video. The question that I like the least when it comes to Korea is how do I make and create Korean friends? Not just because of the terminology, how do I make and create friends? My main issue is the fact that Koreans are not an alien species or foreign disease that we have never heard of or seen before or are just now encountering. No, they are people just like you and I. They have similar interests, similar goals, and maybe even similar cultures to some degree. But for the most part, it's not really that hard to find and meet Korean friends. And if you really think that's a question you need to ask, you need to first ask yourself, how did I meet and find friends in my own country? Or if you're someone who's never had friends, that's a different story altogether. But if you're someone who's always had friends, you really don't need to ask a question like that. The two people that I know that had pretty much made good Korean communities and even some bad ones and had a better time finding and meeting Korean people was myself and my friend Hannah from Fashion Week. And the reason why we had such an easy time is because, first of all, we weren't just spending all our time with foreigners or at least people that weren't there long term. See, for me, the reason why I liked hanging out with Hannah is because she had long-term goals. She just had goals too that were substantive and were just seemed realistic and real and tangible. And the thing was, I'm thinking, I need foreign people that are going to be in Korea for a long period of time, not just in okay, I just want to be here temporarily, or I just want to be only a teacher and nothing else. I see nothing wrong with being a teacher, but the thing is my long-term goal would not be that. My long-term goal is to really establish a life to become an author, and I'm already working towards that. The same as Hannah's already really working towards her goals, her tangible goals. We're both really invested in learning Korean, and also those are the things that Koreans look for. They look for people with long-term goals, and we really put ourselves out there. One, she even took classes that were like a French class that was supposed to be taught in Korean. I took a Japanese class that was taught in Korean. That's how I made my first Korean friend in Korea, was because a girl had to translate for me, and she was awesome, and we connected, and even after the class we were hanging out and spending time together. And another thing was, even for Hannah and I, we both joined clubs, like school clubs. And they may not have been the greatest experiences. Mine was fine, hers was not as good. But it was good just to have that experience for that time in life. And then also, she would go out networking, going out drinking with people, and just went out and tried things, like auditioning for stuff. She met other people and found great people that she did things with. Whereas for me, I went to language exchanges. I went out drinking even with my club friends. And I went out doing so many different things that it would have been hard to not find and build Korean relationships. I made friends in my language exchange. And I highly recommend you don't ever download this app, but you probably will and will probably hear of it if you go to Korea, is Meef. I made one friend on Meef. One normal friend, because the women and men on Meef are not normal or really that good. And quite frankly, I didn't have my settings on women, just men, but quite frankly, I only met one good guy, and he told me both the women and men are weird on Meef. And because of this one guy who was great, he's Christian, he led me to other people who are also Christian, and I built a nice Christian community of people that really helped and built me up while I was there. I learned so much from them that it was just an incredible experience that was invaluable. And because the guy couldn't speak any English really, we had language exchanges. He wanted me to teach him English, and I did the best I could, quite frankly. But because of the fact that we had a translator for a little bit, and then he said that it's okay. He doesn't want her to be burdened anymore. But we would have but even though there was a language barrier, it would help me with my Korean, just speaking Korean and having to listen to a Korean person speak Korean all the time, rather than just having to maybe watch shows that are clearer and stuff like that. And that's another thing that we do. We watch the shows and watch the media to see how the media is, and we know that real life isn't like the media. But it also helps with our Korean and other things like that, and getting better enough that we can start to understand some of the shows in the media simply because of that. You know, a lot of people, they didn't want to join clubs. A lot of people complained, and a lot of people said Korean people were mean and stuff like that. They are not, but they want people who are willing to invest their time in real, authentic relationships and are thinking to themselves, I have long-term goals, which Hannah and I both have, which is why we were so successful at doing these things and finding people and just building relationships, not just with great Korean people, but even foreign people that have long-term goals. And you know, there's nothing wrong with hanging out with foreign people, but Korean people are not aliens, okay? If you want to build relationships with Koreans, it's really not super hard. You just have to be willing to make mistakes, willing to understand certain situations, and be willing to learn more about the culture, and be willing to understand that, you know, not everybody's going to become your long-term friend. Some people are friends temporarily, and some people are friends for the long haul. But if you're just willing to go out to the clubs that Koreans go to, like Hannah did. Go out and go to like clubs where you go drinking and stuff. Go out and go drinking like both of us did. Go out and, you know, go out to language exchanges, and go out and to just find, maybe not the church closest to you, but maybe a church that might even be far away. Possibly. All of that stuff is how you build relationships with Koreans and find good Korean communities and find people that are loyal and respectful. But honestly, you're not going to do that by staying in your house. Not going to do that by pouting and insulting. Not going to do that by saying Korean people are mean. You know, it's give and take, and you're coming into another person's culture, and you should not just discard your own, because I definitely wouldn't do that, but you should make little compromises and know when to fight back and know when to settle. Okay, sometimes Korean people weren't nice to us. Like, for me, we went to, Hannah and I, we went to a bathhouse once, and this Korean lady was just straight up rude to her. The Korean lady was not mean to me. We were in this bathhouse, and we were supposed to lay on these rocks, and I laid on the rocks next to the wall. I just knew in my soul, though, because there was no other space anywhere, and there was no space for us to lay together. But I just knew, but the moment she laid down, that lady was going to say something to her, because she tried to lay down. The lady sat up and just told her to move, just very, very rudely. And that might happen to you in Korea. But the thing is, she didn't fight it. So we could have fought it and yelled at that lady and maybe gotten kicked out, or just had an unnecessary argument. Or you can just be like, you know what, you could just have a discussion about how that wasn't necessary. But the point is, you do fight back sometimes. And yes, you know, sometimes you don't. That's the reality. All in all, like I'm saying though, it's give and take, and Korean people aren't aliens, and you're not going to have good experiences with Koreans all the time. But hey, for the most part, you just have to understand that if you don't put yourself out there and you don't go to places that are less commonly populated by foreigners, hey, you're probably not going to meet too many Korean people. Because we went to a bathhouse way out in the boondocks of Seoul, and we met a nice ajumma and a mean ajumma. And that is all I have for you guys today. And thank you for, watching this video. If you like this video and like to see more videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. Please also hit the notification bell so you get notified every time a new video comes out. And stay on for some extra scenes clips at the end, but also the description box down below. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And yeah, stay tuned for some extra fun scenes at the end.